I wonder if Carol Lee is still with us and if she can tell us anything about how Donald Trump emerged from the residence and boarded, if there was anything reportable there.
Yeah, Nicole, according to the pool of reporters who was on the other side of Marine One there, the president walked out of the residence side of the White House at 6:16 p.m. He was wearing a suit and a face mask, and he was followed by his chief of staff, Mark Meadows. He gave a wave to reporters and boarded Marine One and then took off for Walter Reed, as you saw there, and everyone witnessed. He will also, when he lands at Walter Reed, the way that the White House press corps protocols work is there is another set of cameras and reporters on the ground there, and they will capture the images of the president or the Marine One landing there, or at least will witness that. So the president is on his way. I'm told it's about a 10-minute flight. It's rather short, as you and Brian noticed, but the president walked out of the West Wing. We are likely to see those images on playback sometime soon. He didn't do it live. This is a different approach to how we usually see the president exit the West Wing or the residence many times. Typically, we see that live, and sometimes he'll stop and talk to reporters. That obviously didn't happen today, but the president was with Mark Meadows, his chief of staff, and he was wearing a mask.
Brian, Carol makes such a good point. A lot of the tape that you and I both have at our disposal for our normal newscasts come from those off-the-cuff press avails that Donald Trump seems to enjoy giving, making that short walk from the residence to the helicopter many days of the week.
Yep, and still photos indeed are already popping up on social media of the president's walk out to the helicopter. This camera angle, by the way, is from the, I believe, from our controllable camera at the top of the Washington Monument. There are no buildings taller than the Washington Monument in D.C., so it's easier than any other American city to get an unobstructed view of the surrounding confines. It's fairly extraordinary that we can watch most of this flight uninterrupted as he heads over. But you're right, Nicole, it is usually, here's the video playback of what we just missed. As predicted, the president giving a thumbs up to the cameras with a mask, walking by himself as he is now an active coronavirus patient. There's Mark Meadows. Salute from the Marine officer at the base of the stairs. President usually stops to greet the pilot and first officer. Military aide carrying the briefcase of nuclear codes, because where he goes, so must they. So while sharing an aircraft, while sharing an interior space with an active coronavirus patient, in this case, the President of the United States, they are indeed on the same chopper from the Chief of Staff on down.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.